Alright guys, I'm just heading to the barn this morning. Curtis was already there. He was doing chores. I was doing some paperwork and office work. And he just let me know that the first lambs of 2021 were born this morning. I think it was a set of twins. And he said it was from Tamy. Remember that lame name? So we're gonna go take a look. Just pulling up at the barn here. Hopefully he's got them mostly quiet and fed. And then we'll see what they look like. These guys haven't been fed yet. Very shortly though. Let's have a look here. Oh, it's actually triplets. So it looks like we're off to a good start here in terms of numbers, but I was just watching her and it looks almost like she was rejecting a couple there. See that? That's not a good sign. So I wonder if they wandered away from her and she now doesn't accept them for hers. Hey little guys. Hey. I know, Mama doesn't want you. These are some nice sized lambs for triplets. She's a good mother, she just isn't necessarily accepting them because they got separated. One of the worst things when a mother doesn't accept them for some reason because they get separated, and it just seems like such a waste, because then you either got to try to make her take them or you got to start feeding them milk replacer. And at this stage, when it's a nice mature ewe, we want to try to keep them on the ewe as much as we can. So we're going to see what happens here. I'm going to get them all together in a lambing pen on the other end if I can. So I've got them set up in a lambing pen here. So I think we do have a problem. She's not accepting the one. I think one of the biggest problems was that she had two lambs, and then, or she had all three roughly at the same time. One wandered away, she took care of the two, and then when you try to bring that third lamb back, she doesn't recognize it as her own. So now she rejects it. So it means we're gonna have to bottle feed it. I might leave it in there, but once they've got their mind made up, that's just about the end of it. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna probably try to get a bottle of colostrum into it at least to keep its energy levels up. We'll see what happens here, but that's rather unfortunate. But the bright side of it is she had three really healthy looking lambs that are decent size for being triplets, and yeah, this is great. But this lamb is not stupid. It knows exactly what to do, but as soon as it comes to look for a drink, she just rams it out of the way. So they're super protective of their own, and they're very hostile to any intruders. At least this ewe is. I mean, you get the odd ewe that just will love any lamb almost, but not this one. But she's got milk, plenty of it. I checked her. Something we always want to do when they first lamb is make sure that they have milk supply, and if they don't, that's basically a recipe for shipping her out, because we can't have that not working. Okay guys, so I'm in my little utility room here. I'm getting ready to prepare a bottle of colostrum. This is some powdered colostrum. This is the stuff we use, along with a lot of other people. They use this stuff as well. It's very commonly used by sheep farmers. It's powdered colostrum, and it's the next best thing to mother's milk, I guess, the mother's colostrum. I don't think I'm going to be able to milk a lot out of her, so I'm just going to use some of this, at least initially, to get that lamb some energy. Lambs, when they're first born, have very little stored fat, so they don't last that long unless they get their first meal. And that first colostrum, you want them to ideally get it in that first couple hours of life. So we're going to try to, we're going to mix them up here quickly so that we're ready to get going and get that lamb fed. So I'm heating up some water. So we're just going to weigh out about 30 grams of this stuff. There we go. Then I need 110 mils of water. Powder. This will be a good start. All right, little guy. We're going to try to get some warm food in there.
Sure, it's this guy.
Yes, he's all still wet. He's got great sucking reflex. That's a sign of a really healthy lamb. So there is nothing wrong with this lamb whatsoever. She just doesn't recognize it as one of hers. So we're just gonna have to bottle feed it. I guess the only reason I'm this upset about having a bottle feed at this point is because most of the other ewes aren't ready for probably another week or two. We might get a few odd ones, but the problem is I can't get this lamb on the milk machine. So this is just going to require us to bottle feed it for the next 7 to 14 days before we get other bottle feeds and we can get that machine going. So it just creates an awful lot of work for us. One of the goals of almost every sheep farmer is to avoid having many of these. These are the work of lambing, is those that aren't cared for by their mothers. So that's one of our main goals as sheep farmers is to get mothers to be as self-sufficient as possible with almost all their lambs. Obviously, when we're getting into quads or more lambs, she's not going to be able to feed them all. So in that case, we will always take one off, at least, maybe 2, depending on how many. But when there's triplets or less, we do try to keep them on the mother. She should be able to handle that. They might not grow quite as fast as the twins or singles, but that's okay. The bottom line is that it costs a lot less to feed the ewe than it is to feed milk replacer formula to these little lambs. So it's almost got most of this. That was 110 mils. They should be able to take actually close to 200. So probably in another hour, I'm going to go and make another bottle of the same amount for this lamb. And all right, so I'm just going to put her back in. I don't know if we should, but I don't really have a good spot for it right now. And who knows? You never know if she also lets it, but that would be a surprise if she did let it drink finally. You see how this one here is very sunken in here?
Yeah, I'll get a little closer.
If I go like this, I can totally tell this one hasn't had a meal yet. You should feel a good bulge there. Oh, there it goes now. Looking. We just need it to latch on and get a good meal. And once it's had that first meal, it's amazing how they know exactly almost where to go for it the next time. It's like it creates a memory in their brain that they just know exactly what it feels, smells, and looks like, and they're on their way. So it's that first initial search, and then once they found it, It's amazing how quickly they learn where to go. Nothing like some food for motivation, right? So I think I'm just gonna take this little lamb out. This is the one we just bottle fed. All it's doing is causing her to walk around the pen, not stand still. She just keeps searching to make sure that the wrong lamb isn't feeding. So I think this lamb's only causing trouble in there at this point. I don't want her to reject any other ones on account of it, so I'm going to take this one out, and hopefully she'll settle in with those two really well, bond really well, and they can both get a really good feed. I know the one for sure hasn't. I'm going to leave her for another hour and see how she looks after that. And if she hasn't fed by then, I might give her just a little bit in a bottle to keep its energy up, and see what happens. Now I just got to find a spot to put this little guy. All right, guys, so it's right after lunch here. I should say it's probably closer to 1:30 here. We're gonna go take a look, make sure nobody else is lambing. We're all pretty relaxed right now. We'll see how these two lambs are doing. I don't see any other ones. So let's have a look. Oh, that one looks perky. That one's sleeping. What I do like about these panels, we just built these, and if you haven't seen all our videos yet, we do have one that shows how we built these. Very basic, but what I like about them is that the bottom of these is solid, so even if there is a bit of a draft in the barn, it kind of gives them a little bit of some protection from whatever draft there is. And we definitely got one going through the barn right now. I gotta get some of those doors over there closed up, but it's always amazing what they can handle if they've been given enough to eat. So let's take a look, see how they feel if their bellies are full. What you do like to see is them stretch like that. I don't have anything for you. See this one? This is the one that was a little bit skinny, but I think there's definitely been nursing now. So, you girl, you're doing a good job. So in reality, when these ewes drop their lambs and they've got lots of milk and they're good mothers, it's really not a lot of work in order to do lambing. The work comes in when they have really high numbers, like 4 or 5, sometimes 3 if they don't have a ton of milk. And you got to get into bottle feeding, getting that colostrum in them at the right time. And when you have multiple ones going at the same time, between 10 and 20, that's when it gets busy. You not only got to get all your normal chores done, but you also got to make sure all those lambs in that first, really their couple hours of life, are getting what they need from that colostrum. That can't be stressed enough, how important that colostrum is. Now, if you miss the first couple hours, and it even happens 6 hours later, the lamb is not lost. They say you have about a 24-hour window in which you can feed those lambs that colostrum, and it'll still do them a lot of good, but they say the sooner the better. So if you can get it in that first hour or two, you're a long ways ahead of the game. That's a really good thing. And that's how it should go if everything goes the way it should. Those lambs should get up within the first 15 to 20 minutes or somewhere around there. And within that first hour, they should have their first drink. That's if it goes textbook. So anyways, we're just at the start of this lambing journey. I hope you guys will come along with us and you'll enjoy it, and you'll give us some feedback of anything you want to know. We happy to share this with you. This is an exciting time, and This is just one of many videos we're hoping to do about this topic of lambing, and really this is probably one of the biggest parts of our lambing, of our sheep operation. This is where you either make money or you don't, because if you can't save all your lambs or the vast majority of them and keep them alive and get them off to a good start, then you're behind the 8 ball right from the start. So this is where we got to spend our time and our energy to make sure it gets done right and proper. Hey, little Jennifer, you want another meal? You don't seem hungry. Quite the full belly there. Doesn't seem unduly hungry, so that just means he's been getting plenty. You can see this guy is very well rounded out here, and so he's going to be fine. Anyways, thanks for watching this video, and stay tuned for more.